When you get more knee flex like this, typically what happens is the butt tucks up underneath us and we get a lot of roundness.
Oh, you're filming?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, keyboard warriors, we're back with a video that's gonna help you at your address position get yourself unlocked so that you're ready for showtime, so that you're ready to start loading up and moving properly. And so many of you at home get into a setup position where you're frozen and you are set up for an absolute disaster with how you have your knee flex and your trail arm and shoulder in a really bad spot. So today, guess what? We're gonna fix it. And I have a special guest here today who actually battled with a couple of these issues himself. And I'm gonna show you what these issues are. And most importantly, we're gonna show you a great way to get yourself set up for success. Let's go ahead and take a look at this now. Okay, so Rob, why don't you take a setup here for me? And first order of business here is just way, and I mean way too much knee flex. So many of you at home get sunk down into your knees way too much because it feels like it's a place of stability. It feels like the right place for you to be. But what this actually does is it locks you up very quickly for a number of reasons. But number one, what happens is your pelvis gets kind of tucked up underneath you, and we generally see a lot more roundness from your thoracic spine up, and we're gonna see a lot more roundness in the shoulders. This makes it very hard for you to be able to turn freely. So what we would probably see from this position if Rob were to make a swing is we would see that his hands and his arms wanna start moving the club because he's not in a position where he can move freely. We wanna load into the right hip. We wanna make big body turn. So how we do this is we want to set up in a position where we have very little knee flex. You only need enough knee flex just to soften the knees at your address position. What we look for is we want the back of the knee to be directly over the center of the ankle. That is a perfect amount of knee flex for you. If you start sinking down in there further just to get down to the golf ball, you're gonna start lifting your spine back up and you're gonna be back to square one. So stay tall in your legs. Don't be afraid to hinge more from your hips to get yourself more over the golf ball so that the club rests in behind the ball properly. Now, let's take a look at number two. Number two, this one right here is a big golf swing killer. If you look at his line that his feet are on down here at address, and you look at his shoulder line, you can see that his shoulders are quite a bit open in relationship to his foot line. So what this is actually doing is it's getting you set up in a position where the right arm is way up on top of the left. This is a position of dominance. It is ready to take over, and most of you would probably feel pretty confident to say that your right side does, or your trail side, does way too much in your swing. But also what this does is you start to get a lot of roundness from your shoulder. It starts to move your scapula up and away from your big muscles and makes it almost impossible for you to be able to transfer energy from your trunk and your core. So how we're gonna fix this is we're gonna take our setup with our feet and we're gonna make sure our feet, our hips, and our shoulders are perfectly square with one another. You make sure that they're nice and square, and you're gonna keep your trail shoulder in this position. You're gonna let your right arm hang freely, and you're gonna go ahead and reach across to get the club. You're gonna feel like your right side is kind of underneath your left a little bit more. And what you should be able to do is take a line down your forearms, and it should be very much parallel to your shoulder line, your hip line, and your foot line. This is a position that's much more passive, and now it sets you up where you can start moving properly and not have to worry about opening up at impact and hitting the big old slice of Rooney off the golf course. Third and final piece, and this is something I want you all to work on. So many of you at home get frozen over the golf ball. When you address the golf ball, you come in here and it's like you're in these big bowls or big baskets of concrete.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And you don't want to move. Listen, we want lower body stability, but we want you to feel like you can move from the ground up. We want you to be able to move from your legs and your hips. So when you watch all of the best players in the world, men and women, and you watch them come into their address position and soul the club in there, what you're gonna see is that they're moving their feet around to get themselves comfortable. This is where they're starting their waggle from. Most of you at home do your waggling from up here, your arms and your shoulders. That's what you're signaling to your brain where you wanna start moving from. This is another killer. So waggle and get yourself unlocked in your lower half. Keep yourself moving. And Rob and I both use the same exact dynamic trigger after we get our feet moving around. And Rob, what is that?
Step into the heel.
So he likes to step down into his right ankle. He likes to push that thing down. So you're gonna see his feet kind of shuffle a little bit. And then to get his golf swing started, he drives that right ankle in the ground. So we're gonna let him hit a golf ball here in just a second. But how I want you guys to go about business here is I want you to focus on your knee flex first. I want you to make sure that your trail arm and trail shoulder are in a much more passive position and your lines are square. And then I want you just to keep your feet moving and push that trail ankle in the ground, and you're gonna be set up for success. Rob, let's show them how it looks. So stay tall in those legs, okay? Good square, good job. Okay, feet are moving, good. Wow, that thing sounds like a Scud missile. So there you have it. 3 key pieces that are gonna unlock your setup and not put you in a position where you're behind the 8 ball and having to fill up with all kinds of compensations. Let's get out there, let's make it a great day. You guys get some great success. Thank you, sir. Oh yeah, if you're new to the channel, always helps us as we're passing our message along here at My Golf DNA to subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post those up below. If you like today's video, click the like button below. Let's get out there, let's play some great golf.